Today we have Jonathan Dichter of DUI Heroes on. Jonathan, thank you for being here today.
Thanks for having me. Nice to be here.
So you were talking about somebody picking their lawyer. How might somebody be able to do that?
Yeah, there's a lot of choices out there when picking a DUI lawyer, and it's hard to sift through them. There's websites, there's radio ads, there's yellow pages, there's referrals from friends, referrals from colleagues, and it's hard to tell. The steps I would go through, the things I recommend people do. First off, make sure that the lawyer practices DUI law. Now I know that sounds kind of intuitive, sounds kind of self-explanatory. But I don't just mean, do you know how to practice DUI law? I mean, do you actually practice DUI law? What percentage of your work is DUI law? For me, if that answer is an 80% or higher, move on. If they're also doing personal injury work or divorces or slip and fall accidents or insurance defense, they're not doing DUI defense the way that I think it should be done. DUI defense is so complicated, you want somebody who dedicates most, if not all, of their practice to DUI. Touches every area of the law in terms of criminal defense, so you need to know what you're doing. You need to have someone who's focused on that area of law. Second question to ask is, do you practice DUI law in my area? Well, I was arrested in Seattle. I was arrested in Bellingham, way up north. I was arrested in Walla Walla, all the way over by Idaho. Do you know those courts? Do you know those judges, those prosecutors? Are you familiar with the procedure in those courts? Every court's a little bit different. Every court has its own sort of flavor. So find out if the attorney has familiarity with or comfort with that. Ask about things like organizations that you belong to. The Washington Association of Criminal Defense Lawyers is a big one. The Washington Defender Association is a big one. But ask about DUI specifics. The National College for DUI Defense is one of the best national organizations for DUI defense lawyers. If they're not a member, and especially if they've never heard of the National College, move on. Another important question to ask is, what do you do to make sure you're at the cutting edge of the law with DUIs? Do you stay up to date on the state of the law? Do you stay up to date on the technology? Are you familiar with current litigation going on around breath testing or blood testing? Do you teach? Do you write? Do you lecture? Have you gone through coursework? The coursework that officers go to in order to train themselves to arrest someone for DUI is fairly intensive through the Washington State Patrol Academy. Attorneys, and lay people too, investigators, judges sometimes, can go through that same training in the same method. Not at the academy, but in an academy-like setting. Have you been through those trainings? Do you understand police procedure? And then lastly, it's gut check time. How do you feel talking to them? Do you feel like you're being listened to? Do you feel like you're going to be cared for? Do you feel like they can understand what you need, what you want, and who you are? Do they understand the story of you? And if they do, and you feel like they can then convey that to get you the best option, you may have found the hero you're looking for.